Hey everyone, it's me Jenny and welcome to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet this baby skirt right here. This is the tutorial that I'm going to be showing is size 6 to 12 months, but you can make it bigger if you want and longer, just add extra row. This is how it looks like. The double crochet stitch and shell stitch, and right here it's all single crochet stitch and crochet the ribbing stitch where you crochet at the back loop. Okay, so I made few right here. This is not the same length, I just purposely made it shorter. I just want to test how big it looks using the same weight yarn, medium weight number 4, but this is slightly thicker compared to this one right here. So this one is Red Heart Super Saver Stripe in the colorway Parrot. It is medium weight number 4 and 100% acrylic. And this one right here, the same pattern, but you can't really see the pattern because of the variegated yarn. This is using Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. This is also medium weight number 4, 100% acrylic. Okay, so it is important on your yarn choice. As you can see right here, using variegated yarn you can't really see the pattern. Using striping you can see the pattern, and this is how it looks like. I love it. And this is one color, but this is a tweed yarn. There's a speck right there, and using one color yarn you can really see how the pattern looks like. Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you how to crochet size 6 to 12 months. But if you want to make it bigger, for example size 1 to 3 years old, you can do that. The waist right here, I made 55 rows for size 6 to 12 months, and this is 20 inches around unstretched, but of course you can stretch it like that. Okay, the string is here to tighten up if it's too big for the baby. Okay, so for size, if you want to make size 1 to 3 years old, I suggest you to make 65 rows of this ribbing, and as long as it is multiple of 5 you can achieve the size that you want. Okay, because this is a repeat of 5 stitch, the double crochet shell stitch and double crochet right here, this is a repeat of 5 stitch, so I have 55 stitch for size this 6 to 12 months. If you want to make size 1 to 3 years old, you can add extra 10 rows, so 65 rows for the waist ribbing. Okay, I'm going to show you step by step on how to crochet the yarn that I use for this one right here. This is Caron Simply Soft tweed. 1 skein is enough for you to make 1 skirt. I made this skirt out of this 1 skein and I have still half of it. Okay, the colorway is off-white. It's a medium weight number 4, but as I mentioned, this is a slightly thinner compared to these other two. Okay, so the crochet hook, you need 2 crochet hook, 4.5 millimeter. The 4.5 millimeter is for the ribbing right here and the first round. And after you did the waist area, this ribbing and the first round, and then we're going to switch to 5 millimeter crochet hook for the shell stitch. Okay, the reason to change the crochet hook, so I have looser stitch at this pattern right here, but you don't have to change if you don't want to. If you want to have a tighter stitch at this pattern right here. Okay, so without further ado, let's start. Okay, so before I start the tutorial, I forgot to mention that I do have a tutorial for 0 to 6 months old, similar pattern, but this is slightly different because I modified it a little bit just to make it easier for you to follow. Okay, so if you want to make it smaller, you can decrease the row right here to 45 rows. Okay, for 0 to 3 months, sorry, for 0 to 6 months, 45 rows for the ribbing. For 6 to 12 months, 55 rows, and that's the one that I'm going to be showing for this tutorial. 1 to 3 years old, 65 rows. Okay, so if you want to make it bigger, just add extra 5 rows or 10 rows as long as it is multiple of 5. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so let's start. You're going to grab your 4.5mm crochet hook. You're going to start by making a slip knot. Now you're going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so once you chain 9, we're going to start row 1. Row 1, we're going to make 8 single crochet, and we're going to start from the second chain from the crochet hook. Okay, so this is the first chain right here, and this is the second chain, so we're going to start right here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So I'll just crochet this tail along as I go, so I don't have to weave it in later on. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so once you made 8 single crochet, this is how it looks like. Now we're going to start row 2. For row 2 until row 55, you're going to start with chain 1, and you're going to make 8 single crochet as well, but 7 of the single crochet you're going to crochet at the back loop, and the last single crochet you're going to crochet full stitch. Okay, so the back loop is this one right here. Okay, so how we normally crochet is we put the hook in this V. This is the front, and this is the back. Alright, so we're going to crochet at the back loop only, this stitch right here. Okay, so chain 1, turn the work, and you're going to crochet 8 single crochet, and 7 crochet you're going to crochet back loop, and the last one you're going to crochet at the full stitch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 single crochet in the back loop, and the single crochet number 8 you're going to crochet full stitch, the front loop and back loop. Okay, the reason to crochet full stitch at the last stitch is so that you have a firmer edge, so it won't be too loose. Okay, so chain 1, turn the work, you're going to make 8 single crochet as well, 7 single crochet at the back loop, and the last single crochet you're going to crochet full stitch. 5, 6, 7, and this is the last one, you're going to crochet full. Okay, so you're going to repeat chain 1, make 8 single crochet and 7 of the single crochet, you crochet back loop, and the last single crochet you crochet full stitch. You're going to crochet until you reach until row 55. If you want to make size bigger size, for example 1 to 3 years old, you can add extra 10 rows, which means you have to crochet until you have 65 rows. Okay, so for this tutorial, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you how to crochet size 6 to 12 months. Okay, go ahead and finish up until row 55, or until whichever row that you want, depending on the size that you want to make. Okay, so I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you crochet until row 45, this is how it looks like. Okay, as I mentioned, if you want to make it bigger, you can add extra 10 rows or 5 rows. It is a multiple of 5. Okay, so now we're just going to crochet this last row and the first row together. Okay, I'm just going to use the single crochet stitch to join these two ends together. Okay, so working yarn is at the back. I've chained 1 right here. Okay, now what you're gonna do is just bring the hook to the very first stitch right here and back to the last row, the first stitch of the last row. Okay, and join both pieces together. Okay, you can make this any way that you want. You can use the slip stitch, or you can just use the tapestry needle to sew both ends together. Okay, as long as these two join, it's fine. Okay, now go back to the front and crochet. So I crochet this full stitch. Okay, 2, okay, so this is the last stitch. Alright, this is how it looks like, and this stitch right here is going to be in the front, at the back, and this is going to be the front. Alright, so this is the tail from the beginning of the row. I'm just going to pull it to the back. Okay, so this is the back and this is the front. Right, this is how it looks like. Alright, so now we're going to continue using this loop right here. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and this chain 2 count as stitch count. And now we are going to make 1 double crochet in every row. Okay, so we made 55 rows for this waistband, and now we're going to make 55 double crochet, 1 in each row. This chain 2, which count as stitch count, so I'm going to count this as 1, and the first row right here, this is going to be row double crochet number 2. At the third row, 3 double crochet. Okay, so you're just basically going to make 1 double crochet in every row until you have total of 55 double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and finish up, and I'll see you at the end of the row. Okay, so once you're done crochet 55 double crochet, 55 stitches, now go ahead and finish up by slip stitch at this chain 2. Okay, the chain 2 count as the first stitch count, the first double crochet. So this is how it looks like. Okay, this is round 1, and this waistband right here, we don't count this as a round anymore, because this for the waistband we crochet front and back. It's a row count. So the first round is this one right here, the 55 double crochet. Okay, so we're going to start the shell pattern right now at round 2, and I'm going to switch from 4.5 millimeter crochet hook to 5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, you don't have to change the crochet hook if you don't want to. I change because I want to have a looser stitch at the pattern. Okay, so now we're going to start. Chain 2, 1, 2, and this chain 2 count as double crochet. So next we're going to skip 1 stitch, and we're going to skip this stitch, not this stitch right here. Okay, because this stitch is for this chain 2, which is count as double crochet stitch. If you skip this stitch, you're going to miss the pattern. So do not skip this stitch, because this first stitch right here is the stitch for this chain 2, which is also the double crochet. Okay, the stitch that you need to skip is this stitch right here. Okay, this stitch. So we're going to skip this stitch, the first stitch. Now at the next stitch right here, we're going to do the shell stitch. So for shell stitch, we're going to make 2 double crochet, chain 1, and 2 double crochet all in the same stitch. Okay, 2 double crochet, 1, 2. Now we're going to chain 1. Now make 2 more double crochet at the same stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so this is how it looks like. So now we're going to skip 1 stitch. We're going to skip this stitch, and at the next stitch we're going to make 1 double crochet. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Now we're going to repeat the same exact thing. We're going to make 1 double crochet, skip 1 stitch, shell, skip 1 stitch, and 1 double crochet. Okay, so this is where the pattern repeat. So 1 double crochet. Now we're going to skip the next stitch, skip 1 stitch. At the next stitch, you're going to do shell stitch. The shell stitch is 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, all in the same stitch. Chain 1 and 2 double crochet, 1 and 2. Now we're going to skip 1 stitch, and at the next stitch you're going to do 1 double crochet. Okay, so we're done with the second pattern repeat. Now we're going to do the same repeat. 1 double crochet, skip 1 stitch, shell stitch, chain 1, 2 double crochet. Okay, done with the shell. Now we're going to skip 1 and 1 double crochet. Okay, so you're going to repeat the same pattern until you reach the very last stitch. The very last stitch is going to be the 1 double crochet for the very last pattern repeat. Okay, so go ahead and finish up, and I'll see you at the end of round 2. Okay, so once you're done with round 2, this is how it looks like. You should have total of 11 shells or 11 repeat. So this is the first shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and in between every shell you should have 2 double crochet. Okay, to finish up, just slip stitch at this chain 2 right here, which is counted as double crochet stitch. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Now for round 3 we're going to repeat exactly same like how we did at round 2, except we're not going to skip stitch because we already did that at round 2. So for round 3 we're just going to start with chain 2, 1, 2, and this chain 2 counts as double crochet stitch. Now we're just going to make the shell stitch in this chain 1 space. Okay, so this is the shell from round 2, and for round 3 shell we're just going to do it in this chain 1 space. So for the shell is still the same, 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to make 1 double crochet in each of these double crochet from previous round. Okay, so 1 double crochet right there and 1 double crochet right there. Okay, so now we're going to do the shell stitch, and the shell stitch we're going to do in this chain 1 space from the shell from round 2. 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to make 2 double crochet, 1 in each of these double crochet stitch. Okay, now repeat shell stitch. You're going to continue do the same shell stitch and 2 double crochet until you reach the end of round 3. Okay, so just let me give you a quick brief. So in between every shell you should have 2 double crochet, same like the one at round 2. In between shell you should have 2 double crochet. Okay, so 2 double crochet right there, shell stitch, 2 double crochet, shell stitch, 2 double crochet, shell stitch. Now we're going to do the 2 double crochet right here. Okay, so go ahead and repeat, and I'll see you at the end of round number 3. Okay, so once you're done round 3, this is how it looks like. Go ahead and finish up by slip stitch at this chain 2. Okay, this is how it looks like. You should have still the same 11 shell around. So for round 4 you're going to do the same as round 3. Start with chain 2, 1, 2, chain 2 count as the stitch count, and do shell stitch in this chain 1 space. Make 2 double crochet, 1 in each stitch, and then repeat shell stitch in this chain 1 space, 1 double crochet in each stitch until you reach the very last row, last round 4. At this very last stitch you should end with 1 double crochet, same as this one right here. Okay, so in between every shell you should have 2 double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 4, and at the next round, round 5, we're going to do increases. Okay, so I'll see you at the end of round 4. Okay, so once you're done round 4, this is how it looks like. Okay, so just go ahead and slip stitch at the chain 2 to finish up round 4. Okay, so for the next 3 rounds, round 5, 6 and 7, you're going to, every round you're going to start with chain 2, 1, 2, and this chain 2 count as stitch count. And for the shell, instead of making this 2 double crochet, chain 1 and 2 double crochet, you're going to make 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. Okay, so after you make chain 2, now do the shell, 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so at this 2 double crochet, you're going to make 1 double crochet on each stitch. Okay, 1 double crochet right here and 1 double crochet at the next double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to do shell, 3 double crochet, 1, 2, 3, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. 1, 2 and 3. Now this is the double crochet. You're going to make 1 double crochet on each of this stitch. Okay, so you're going to repeat the same, make shell stitch, 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet, 2 double crochet, repeat until you reach the end. Once you reach the end, slip stitch and continue round 6 and 7. Okay, so for round 6 it's going to be, for round 5, 6 and 7, the shell is 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and repeat until you reach round 7, and I'll see you at the end of round 7. Okay, so once you're done crochet until round 7, this is how it looks like. Okay, so for the next 3 round 8, 9 and 10, we're going to do increase as well by doing chain 1 in between the shell stitch. So all these 3 rounds, you're going to start with chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the first 2 chain, 1, 2, right here it's count as double crochet, and that third chain count as chain 1. Okay, so at every shell, this chain 1 space, you're going to do exact same like the past 3 rounds. You're going to do 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, now chain 1 and 3 double crochet. 1, 2 and 3. Okay, so now we're done with the shell stitch. Now we're going to chain 1. Alright, so now we're going to make 2 double crochet, 1 on each of these stitch, double crochet stitch. Okay. 1 and 2. Alright, now we're going to do shell stitch. So before you do the shell stitch, you're going to chain 1. Okay, now we're going to do shell stitch, 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet. Okay, so you're done with the shell stitch. Now you're going to chain 1. Next, going to make 2 double crochet. 1 and 2. Now you're going to chain 1. Okay, so after you chain 1, you're going to repeat the same exact how we did earlier right here. Chain 1, do the shell stitch, chain 1 and make 2 double crochet. You're going to repeat until you reach the end. At the last stitch right here, it should be 1 double crochet, and then you're going to slip stitch at the second chain. Okay, so go ahead and finish up until right here, and I'm going to show you how to finish up round 8. Okay, so once you're done round 8, go ahead and slip stitch. You're going to slip stitch at the second chain. Okay, so 1 and 2, the second chain. The third chain counts as chain 1, so we will not slip stitch at the third stitch. Instead, we're going to slip stitch at the second stitch. Okay, so this is how it looks like once it's done. Now you're going to make 2 more rounds, round 9 and round 10. Repeat exactly same as round 8. Okay, start with chain 3, 1, 2, 3. First 2 chain count as double crochet, the third chain count as chain 1. So now I'm going to do the shell. Okay, so you're going to repeat. Just make sure to make one, just make sure to chain 1 before and after every shell. Okay, so chain 1 right here, shell stitch. Now chain 1, going to make double crochet, 1 in each stitch. Okay, now we're going to do the shell, but before do the shell, you're going to do chain 1. Okay, so go ahead and finish up until you reach round 10, and I'll see you once you're done. Okay, so once you're done, crochet until round 10. This is how it looks like. If you want to continue to make it longer, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to finish this skirt at round 11. Okay, so we're going to start round 11. We're going to, okay, so let's slip stitch first to finish up round 10. Okay, so for round 11, the last round for this skirt, we're going to start exactly same like round 8, 9 and 10. Start with chain 3, and we're going to do the shell in the chain 1 space. Okay, so for the shell, we're going to make 7 double crochet instead of 3 double crochet, chain 1 and 3 double crochet, because we're not going to do the chain 1 at the shell for round 11. Okay, so start with chain 3, 1, 2, 3. The first 2 chain count as double crochet, the third chain count as single crochet. Okay, so now at this chain 1 space, you're going to make 7 double crochet. Okay, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so once you make 7 double crochet, you're going to chain 1. Now we're going to make double crochet, 1 double crochet on each of these stitch, the double crochet from previous round. 1 double crochet right here, and 1 double crochet right here. Okay, now we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to do shell in this chain 1 space. So for the shell, you're going to do 7 double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 11. After every shell, you're going to do chain 1, and before the shell, you're going to do chain 1 as well. And for the shell stitch, you're going to make 7 double crochet. Okay, so go ahead and finish up round 11, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so once you're done with round 11, go ahead and slip stitch at the second chain. Chain 1 to secure stitches and cut the yarn. Okay, so just cut enough for you to weave in ends. Now I'm going to weave in the ends. Okay, so once you weave in your ends, that is how it looks like. Now we're going to make a very long chain to put it around the waist right here, so we can tighten it up when it's too loose for the toddler. Okay, so just grab yarn and crochet hook and just do long changes, enough for you to wrap around and leave it a little bit tail for you to tie a bow. Okay, so once you make your chain, and what you're gonna do is you just put it right there. Just go in, go through here, okay, so if this is too long, you can just make a knot right there. Knot. Okay, and cut right there. Okay, so there you have it. This is how I crochet this skirt. This pattern is for size 6 to 12 months. If you want to make it bigger, as I say earlier of this video, you can just add extra 5 row right here, because this shell pattern, it is multiple of 5 stitch repeat. Okay, so as I suggest, if you want to make it 1 year to 3 years old, you for the sorry, the ribbing waist right here, you make 65 stitches. If you want to make 3 to 4 years old, maybe 70 rows. Okay, so there you have it. I hope you find this tutorial easy to follow. If you have any question, leave your question at the comment section down below. I will try my very best to reply. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video and share this video with your fellow crochet friends. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. That way you won't miss any of my future uploads. Follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram. And for now, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care everyone. God bless and bye.